Okay, I think we're now live. I'll wait for a couple more people to come in and then I'll play the video. I just loaded a couple onto Instagram
Hmm.
of these of the bad kids.
Yeah, I
You know, I'll
can't
be
wait to
watching
see this.
my African movies and I'm telling you, honey, they be taking stuff to the next level. Like that's really what you're gonna do?
Yeah, that's really what we're gonna do. And it's so
Really
funny
gonna
because did nobody even know that that was your topic tonight? And that's exactly what is being discussed in the shop today.
shut up.
I'm not even playing with you. They're being all quiet now and everything, but yeah, we was
Okay.
literally just talking about it.
Okay, well let me play my intro, do my introduction, and then I will ask you about the shop and then play a video. So here we go.
Okay.
First of all, can I say I like my new intro? And second, first of all, can I say when I did my first YouTube channel, which is Queen TT, so if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe to that one and your kids can too. I paid a lot of money to get that 12-second intro done. And then I decided, let me see if I could do it um, in my becoming melanin madness and seeing all the things that I could do on the creative side. And I really like it. So thank you for joining. Welcome back to Melanin Madam. Tonight we have Des back with us, and she is in the shop working. Our topic for tonight is going to be why the dating pool is kind of shrinking, and it is around the topic of course, there are other reasons, but around the topic of children. And people with children lately are saying that they don't want to date people with kids. So that is our topic for tonight. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, subscribe. Second, most importantly, share. It takes like 2 seconds. And then we are going to jump right into our topic. So, ironically, Des said in the shop today, they was talking about the topic of um, children. So I want to get a little insight on what that looked like because I like it when things align, right? It lets me know that I'm doing something right. That's my little how I communicate with God or how He communicates with me. So, Des, you can introduce yourself, and then also if you want to tell a little bit about yourself or go right into the topic of what you guys were discussing today.
Cool. I'm Desiree Thornton, better known as Delicious Designs by D. I am the world's greatest nail tech of all times, honey. I am in Birmingham, Alabama, from Pomona, California, and I am a whole lot of person all the time.
Period. Period.
And I try to come with the best advice possible. And if I don't have none, I don't give none, right? So excuse my head for going down because I am literally still working, but I could not resist tapping into the situation because I am single with no kids. And we were talking about it today, not even talking about me being single with no kids, but more so talking about dating with children
Okay.
and how it can be a problem when the kids have a bad attitude or even if the parent really ain't worth talking about. um that is the the actual main parent in the situation. And that was what we were talking about. This man then left his child with a woman he is no longer with and told that lady he was going to beat her up if she dropped off the baby to him.
Back.
Yeah, that's what just happened. I'm going to beat your ass if you drop this baby off to my house. And the baby ain't no baby. She's about what, 10 or 12? She's 12 now. And when she went to go get the baby to take her back, the baby begged her to not take her back because he was going to beat her as well. So, with that also being said, I am the type that almost say F your kids all the time. because I'm really not into dating with children because I don't have any. And I don't
Okay.
care to take upon the responsibility that I didn't have no pleasure in.
Okay.
I didn't have a ooh
Okay.
or ah going on when y'all had that baby. And although I may turn up to be an amazing foster parent, I'm going in with my mind open to be an actual foster parent and not a step
Right.
parent.
Right.
There is a
Huge difference.
difference. And
Huge
so
difference.
I I don't I hate to say that I just don't want to date you because I don't want to deal with you or your baby mama drama. Um, and I'm gonna f your kid up if I gotta watch him at any time. I can't tolerate the idea you telling me no whoopings. Then you keep your kid. Now, granted, I live in a day and age that I've learned how to beat your butt without beating your butt. Right? There's so many ways of handling whooping and discipline or
Yes, it
whatever.
is. Yes,
And
it
so
is.
when I say that, please don't assume that I mean I'm actually physically about to do something because the most I'm going to do physically is lick your face and sit on you. But I do need you to understand, don't test my gangster in any way.
Right. Right.
But
So,
let's
okay, go
go.
ahead. I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
let's go. We in it. Go. You go.
Okay. Okay. So on Instagram, I've been seeing, well, actually on social media, period, people have been saying, oh, I don't want to date people with kids, but they will have kids. And so in the comments, people will be like, oh, well, that doesn't make sense. How do you have kids, but you don't want to date somebody with kids? And let's just be honest in that respect. So I'll start with that one because that one is the one that I see a lot on social media. And I will say that um, if you have kids and they behave, or perhaps, the let's just say it's the girl, the father is not present, or the father is
Did you freeze? Did you stop talking? No, here.
no, I'm still talking. Can you hear me?
I can hear you now.
Okay, you couldn't
I'm.
before? You couldn't hear anything?
I did not hear
Oh,
nothing that just happened.
okay. So I will start over. Get really brief. On social media, a lot I see where different topics will come up, and it'll be like videos about kids, memes about kids, and it's mostly the mom that will say that she what does not want to date somebody with kids. It's a couple reasons why I can understand that. One is that unfortunately, a mom that's a single mom is usually really a single mom. So the dad is not present at all. There's no drama because he's just not around, right? But if you date a man with kids, then you're not just dating that man, you're also taking in his kids, and you're also kid or kids, and you're also taking on the personality of all of the family members. So however their relationship is, even if it's good or bad, that doesn't necessarily mean that it'll be good for you. And a lot of times you walk into a situation where it's just so many things. Like a woman knows how women act, right? So they'll be saying things like, oh, I don't want nobody around my baby. They have all of these rules that just don't make sense. And they kind of set their kids up to believe that they don't even need to respect you off top because, oh, that's just somebody that your daddy is dating. I personally don't understand how the number one rule doesn't take precedence over all of that, that you just respect your elders. I wasn't aware that it was, I just cannot get with and understand like what the hell is going on. It doesn't make any sense to me, but that is generally what happens. And so with me and my marriage, I've never everybody that I've dated since right out of high school has always had kids. But I was able to get along with the kids. They loved me. Still talk to a lot of them today. Um, no issues with the mom because I'm super respectful in that space. I don't care if y'all sitting right next to me having a knockout, drag out, fight. I feel like that's between you guys because to Dez's point, I wasn't there with y'all oohing and eyeing. And you know what I'm saying? And it sometimes is residual feelings. I'll encourage them to even talk. But in my marriage, it was not the same at first. One was respectful, held on to my hip. The other one, it was a little bit different. But his relationship with his dad was also different. And I wasn't aware of certain things, right? Everybody, and it's no pun intended, but when you become married and actually live with the person, you see the day to day, what it's really like and how much that other person impacts your household because your spouse is dealing with them. And if they give them an attitude, Mark never ever took it out on me, but it would bring him down a little bit because he just wanted to be a good dad. So I understand why people don't want to date anybody with kids, and then you get attached too, right? So that whole love them like they're yours. After my previous relationship before getting married, I told myself that I would never do that again. Love them like they're my own. The reason why is because as a woman, when you love them like they're your own, you think to yourself, even if you break up, even if anything happens, you should still be able to have a relationship with that kid, right? That's not what happens. And so people want to bring you into the fold of them having kids, but you're the one that's going to be impacted. You're the one that's going to be hurt when that kid is gone. And you don't have any rights to that kid. And then they want to call you crazy if you want to continue a relationship, but you literally fell in love with them like they're your own. So I just always say I'm going to respect this kid and love this kid, period. But not that extra piece of like loving them like they're my own because they're not. And you have to protect yourself too as an adult. But let me show you this clip real quick because y'all know I be watching my African movies. And these kids, I wish I could have loaded all the clips, and I am throughout the week. I loaded some on my Instagram. These kids is bad as hell. Like, we whoop our kids in America, and they don't talk like this that much. But here goes the clip. Grab your drink, because I'm going to grab one, and we'll come back, and then we'll discuss the clip and go from there.
All right.
Lord, Lord, let it play.
Wrong with this boy? Picking his clothes.
Who you?
Who, me? In my own house? You should start by greeting your elders first.
Who's elder? No, you be elder. Who then you elder? You accept them.
Open this gate. I'm so pressed. Open this gate.
I know look my sister. They look for.
You're asking me that kind of stupid question in my house? Are you insane?
You say in house. Anyway, they do you. You not just want my sister. You won't claim the house too. For.
Look, I ate something at the airport. And it's running my stomach. Please, just open the damn gate.
Open
the gate.
What's in concern or concerned? You want me to beat you for you? You go beat you.
Wait for me.
Hey, wait. What's up? You're not getting worse for Grando.
Good evening, sir. Sir, are you okay?
And who are you?
My name is Ollie. I live here.
Hey, sister, wake up.
You don't know you opened the door for him.
This is not my city yet.
Stop. The owner of the house.
Hey, we can't
Okay,
sorry. No, we cannot please. Hey,
sorry.
You cannot do not be pushed out. This is my weekend.
Easy.
Sorry. Sorry, sir.
Go. Take the bag. Get the bag.
We come inside and have a snow rest again. We can't landlord. Can make go the flower pot. That will be the flavor before the man come disturb us. I don't like them. In fact, the man will go inside house. No.
For this, I don't even know what to call them. That's enough reason for them to punish me in my own house, to torture me. You know what? You all should just get up and get out of my house.
Please, sir.
Leave my
Sir,
house.
no, sir, please, now. If you chase us out, where are we going to? It's late already. Please. Sir, please have mercy. We're sorry.
Just the same way I was urging them to open the gate for me, and they refused.
I just say blood doesn't. That's when they come inside here. When they look for my sister and be married.
Sir, that's the thing. You know, some people just come sometimes and go out. So I think they were thinking is one of those people. Sir, please. Who would have been homeless? What's with the disrespect now?
No be him cause am. No be him cause am.
Cause what? Cause why did you not open the gates?
Why we go open am? You don't tell us say they come now. No.
So?
We just say we be stranger. We go open gate for stranger. Open gate for stranger. I don't like what you said. You insult me. You insult me, homie. You tell me say I don't see your road. Imagine. What a mess.
What? See, I had to say that so that he will allow us stay. If he sends us back, do you think we have any other place to go to?
But sister, you know even for say that one. You go fit to say 2 of us na 6 years.
But that was the only way for him to forgive you. See, let me tell you, you have to play along. You have to play along. Even if it means acting like a child, that's what you have to do.
So we're gonna act like 6 years.
If it's necessary, yes.
I don't trust that one go work. No go work at all.
See, let me tell 2 of you. If you misbehave and this man sends us back here, 2 of you will be outside. Do you hear me? Go get inside!
Mama, I want the ladies. Why you go tell me 6 years? I just 6 years.
Now I need to understand. It's just one thing I need to understand. How are you staying in this man's house? He didn't even know you were staying there. When he finds out you staying there, you are literally homeless, and they still talking shit. How?
And honestly, with all the work that I have done in the African culture, baby, that's how they talk. They don't think they're being disrespectful, and if they are, they don't really care. How about that? They said what they
I
said.
think they don't care
Yeah, they said what
because
they
how was they
said,
calling him wicked and a devil and all of that? Now this man
and he
then
was in
told
this
you
man's house.
it's his house. He just got off an airplane and was having stomach issues. He done fell and hurt his back. When you do let him in, you insulting him and running around his property, acting a fool,
And
and
he
then you
just
go
trying
in
to
there
get
and y'all
okay
just rolling
first.
your eyes. How?
No respect. No
None at
respect.
all. None at all. And when I load the other clips, I mean, the guy, of course, ended up starting to like the girl, and they took a pact that they was going to do whatever that they could to ruin the chances of him being able to get close to the sister. So,
What?
girl, they would like he took them out one time, and mind you, he thinks they're 6. He took them out one time. They passed one of the boy passed gas at the table. Um, in their face on purpose. Um, they didn't sleep all night to stay up so that they can hear if he opened his door to go say hi to her at her door, or so they can have alone time because the kids stay up late as hell and don't give him no private time at all. Every time he tried to talk to her, they busted in the room, locked door, girl.
No
They
more
busted
love
in
doors.
that part, but they went into the room like it was nothing. I just don't understand because I come from a place where I'm with you. I will whoop your kid. I will whoop your kid because some stuff is just ridiculous. And what I don't understand is how it shouldn't even get to the other person, right? So the person you dating
Should
or married, they shouldn't even have to say anything. You should be correcting it already because
because it should
how
have
are
never
you okay
happened.
with them acting like that?
Should have never happened. Because let me tell you, not in my house. And I believe children love discipline. So not in my house. Look, that's all I'm saying. Not in my house.
Have you ever dated somebody with kids?
Have I? I don't know. I never met the kids. If I did, I don't do that. I don't do
Are you
kids.
serious?
I don't do kids because I don't do people. I ain't been in no relationship longer than 6 months. Let's be clear. I don't even do relationships, baby. Let me not set
No.
you up to get effed up over here. F your kid when you leave, F your whole family for real. I ain't cool. I ain't cool. I don't want to be cool. We
So
did not work out.
are you intentionally not dating because you don't want to deal with if they have kids or anything
Mm-mm.
about their life? You don't want to become
Let
involved
me
with
be
somebody?
clear. Eventually, I might tolerate someone with their children, right? But that's a hard pill to swallow because I literally learn from other people's mistakes.
Right.
And so I just don't even phantom going through any of that. And I think I'm too good for it, to be honest. And I'm not coming into the situationship with that type of baggage. And that's like no shade to the situation, but that's a lot of baggage that I don't know if I can handle because
It is.
I don't want to listen. Let me tell you how this works. I smoke my shit, I do what I want to do, and I don't give a damn about how you feel. And that's just my real life right now. I'm sure eventually, one day, maybe I will grow out of this moment. But in this season, baby, fuck you and your kids. Excuse my language, but I meant that shit. Okay?
Why
Keep
do
your
you think people are
kids.
just letting their kids behave any kind of way?
No discipline, no structure. These parents is having children with no discipline, no structure. You shouldn't even be a parent at this particular season in your life. But you so let me tell you something, and I don't mean no harm to nobody who may hear this and feel some type of way. But if you bitches stop being so dick hungry, stop and get to know these men before you start sharing your sexual beings with them, running into these gut punches with their unraised ass children. We could have a different conversation. Because I know a lot of people who kids I would fool with just because I see them being raised and they're respectful. Yes, ma'am. No, ma'am. Can I get that for you? These little motherfuckers don't want to do nothing, but they got their hand out. Well, let me be clear with you. I ain't got no kids, so fuck your hand. See, play with me because the reality is I'll do for your kid, right? Because I want to. But
That part.
believe you me, your kid got to be showing me something to make me want to.
Right. Right.
So why should I suffer? Because uh any reason, period. Why should I suffer? I don't believe in suffering for no one else. I suffer enough on GP. So let's be clear. I want more.
Did you hear about that TikTok with the dad at McDonald's?
Yes. Yes.
Okay,
And I have very
from
mixed feelings.
so let's talk about that because I didn't see it myself yet. Um,
I haven't saw it either.
but from my understanding, the child called the dad and asked for McDonald's. He had other siblings, but they were not by the same person. He came and brought his child food, and the woman, the mom, went live and was like, you know, I don't get my food stamps until X date, and he should have bought for all of them. And I'll let you give your opinion first about this.
Baby, you already know your friend got something to say about it, right? So
Hmm.
listen, there's
First, let me
mixed
take a
feelings
drink.
about that. Sip,
I don't know
sip,
who bought
sip.
me this cup for my wedding, but I
Oh,
finally
wifey, can I
used
get
it.
a
So
can I
thank
get a
you.
glass of wine? I know you doing something, and I know that, but I appreciate you. You totally my wife. So listen,
Okay.
this is the shade, right? So
Okay.
on one hand, F your kids, girl. I ain't got no kids. Them ain't my kids, right? They not mine. But I'm a human being first.
Right.
And because I'm a human being first, I could have never brought one child something and not brought the other. I just
Really?
couldn't have
Okay.
done that, period. If I
Okay.
couldn't have got it for all of them, I wouldn't have got it for none of them. That's just
Okay.
how I roll. And
Okay.
if I wanted my child to have it that bad, then I would have had to take my child out. And if you wouldn't have let me take my child out, my child would have not gotten no McDonald's because most likely, little motherfucker, why are you calling me asking me for that? Does your mama even know you on the phone? See, because first of all, there was no way in hell you should have brought your child to McDonald's without talking to that girl first. Why would you? I don't care that your son called you. He lives with me, and I got other children. And so, whether I got stamps today, tomorrow, yesterday, you could have said something to me about what you finna do to disrupt my household on period. And that's how I really feel about it because I think that's some janky shit. And I think the man was super duper childish because how would you have felt if the shoe was on the other foot? Doesn't matter that the baby daddies ain't shit. What if one day they was something and they did the right thing? How would you felt if your son was left out and you was nowhere near to even be a save of the day? So because you and then from my understanding, he is still tapping that ass. There's no way in hell that you finna be tapping my ass and my kids ain't all getting the same treatment. Fuck you. I felt her on
Oh,
that part.
oh my.
I felt
Okay.
her on that part.
Yeah. Okay.
But yeah, yeah, I felt that because go to hell, sir, in a gasoline jacket and take several seats and several naps because no one has time for that. That was disrespectful.
Okay. So
I'm
let me tell
done.
you. So if you don't know this about me, you'll learn it real quick. I like to start at the root, right? So the root
Okay.
is maybe this is why God said to get married and be fruitful and have only one baby
Did you
daddy.
see my whole face go to the camera? I'm sorry.
Okay. We're
Message.
going to start there. We're going to start there
Message. Okay.
because these are the little things that we go through throughout our day. And that's all of us. The shit we going through is because of the shit we did. Let's just call it there. Because if we didn't do it, that couldn't have
Call a
happened,
spade
right?
a spade. Call a
So
spade a spade,
call a
man.
spade a spade. So that's what problem number one is. So when you sit here and have all of these babies, you need to be strategic. I don't give a fuck. You need to be strategic. It's too much information out there now, right? You need to be strategic if you're going to do whatever you want to do. Because um, I don't feel like, you guys hold on one second. Can you still hear me?
Yes.
Oh, perfect. I don't feel like that man was wrong. That man was not wrong because he does not have a child. He has one child, not several. If my child asks me for something, I am never going to let my child not have anything. This is just me as an Asian. And this is how I am with my nieces and nephews. Sky used to call me at work in Brea and ask me for some D Donalds. Okay. And I would get my ass in the car and drive all the way to bring it to him. I don't think that in this situation it can be black or white only because this is their normal life, right? So I'll give the example, two examples. One, me and my sister do not have the same biological dad, but I was raised with knowing him as my dad until I was about, I think I was 10 when I found out. Um, and due to having a stepmom that previously had tried to run us over with cars and all this other stuff, I was good when I found out because he wasn't a good dad. He was in and out. So I've shared it before. I had one dad that was completely absent and then one dad that was in and out. I actually respect the one that just stayed away. Um, and there were things that my sister did that I didn't do because that was her dad. It didn't bother me because that is how my mother spoke to us. That was our reality, right? Just like I had godmothers that did extra things for me, and I would come in with things at certain times. Start raising your kids um in reality. Start raising them so that they know what's really going on in life because when they get in high school, how's it going to work when they get in high school and And what if I can afford to buy my kid a car, but you can't afford to buy your kid a car? Do you think I'm not going to buy my kid a car? No, that's
No,
impossible.
I'm
That's
not.
not going to happen
Mm-hmm.
at all. So if you set the tone for what their life is really like to begin with, it'll just be their norm. It didn't hurt my feelings. I didn't want anything Taisha had. That was hers. That was her special thing, right? Everybody has a special thing. And I guess that's the way that it was like presented to us, you know? So no, it never bothered me. And if she had something and I wanted to bite, I would ask and she would give it to me and vice versa. That's where you teach your kids to for one, live in reality. But if your sibling does ask for something, you do share, but you also teach the other sibling, don't ask all the damn time. You being greedy. Like these are things that are going to help you later in your life. So I don't necessarily agree. Also, one of my stepsons, when we got married, he was an only child and spoiled all the way around. And then the other one had two other siblings and didn't have as much. So he had a lot of things that like it bothered me because the other one would come over talking about, oh, I just did this, that, and the other. And the good thing about Shia, though, is that if he had an ice cream, that was like amazing to him, or if he watched his favorite cartoon. So even in hearing different things, and there's your mic is off, even in hearing different things that the other one would say, it didn't bother him, right? Because of how his mom raised him. I will never take it from her. She raised him well, that I think. But when I would send him back with like money for the ice cream truck, I would give him money when he would get ready to go back. I would think about his siblings and say, here's other money. But for instance, at Christmas time, when I bought him all these things, I didn't send gifts for the other kids. You have to consider that you really have to tell your kids the truth and set the bar. Are you raising your hand?
I'm raising
Hallelujah.
my hand. Hallelujah,
Oh,
church, baby, amen. Listen, I'm gonna tell you something, and I hear all of what you're saying because as a child I experienced this. This is why I feel the way I feel.
right.
Let me be clear. Y'all got to quit doing all this blended family shit and then don't want to really be blended. That's some
That
bullshit.
part.
That's some
Right.
fucking shit. I'm sorry.
It
Fuck
is.
that. That's some bullshit. I
I
remember
agree.
as a kid going to Christmas to my stepdad's mother's house, and because he only had one child with my mother, and my mother sitting over here with three other effing children, and only one person getting Christmas gifts, and I'm literally still a child. Go to hell. Bitch, you could have got me a coloring book. The fact that you put some under the tree would would be have just been fine with me, okay, as a child, not knowing what the hell going on and why you would feel like you shouldn't do something for me too. I'm gonna tell you right now,
Here's the thing. Kids
I'm
are not
like that
like that now.
today,
And
but
that's
I'm
a
like
clip that
that
I want to
today.
include. It's a
Okay.
clip I want to include because that very thing came up and I'm really mad that I've been working my ass off this week. Yeah, I've been working my ass off this week. So I'm still going to load these clips because I wanted to go along with what we're saying. So when they started dating, right? Remember, he thinks that they're six. So he bought them both phones and he bought them some other stuff for a 6-year-old. They got the stuff, they looked at it and they was like, what is this? Why is this not an iPhone? Why is this not a Samsung such and such? They was not happy with what he got them, and they talked about it. And that is more of what I'm seeing from kids. If you don't get them something that costs $80 million for some reason, I don't get it because the parent can't afford certain things, but they expect other people. Like if I buy my child an iPhone and it's Christmas and I bought my child an iPhone and I'm the stepmom, they kind of, not in my real situation, they kind of expect that if I bought mine an iPhone, I should buy yours an iPhone. Well, here's where I came up with that. Even with, let's just say, having a room at the house, right? We stay in California. Rent is high as hell. Okay. I have a room for the kids, but I don't have enough rooms to have rooms for each kid. Here's the other thing. It's every other weekend. That doesn't make any sense. So my question was, when you come over here bragging about everything you have at your fucking mama's house, then what about my kid? Because if I'm signing up, because to your point, blended means blended, right? So if I, and this is the step parent, mom or dad, if I as a step parent can ensure that if I buy my baby 7 things, I buy your baby 7 things, and it's not a thing of crayons, a thing of socks, because Asia goes in. If I buy something, I'm gonna buy something. Period. Okay, whether you buy for mine or not. And let's just make it clear. I made it very clear. My niece and my nephew, I have had them since they are born, and there's never been anything in the other direction. But it didn't stop me from being a good stepmom because that's what I want to do. My point was, does that mean when we have a baby, that my baby's going to have a room at their house? That my baby's going to have, because my baby should be able to go over there. Y'all are siblings. Why? If this is the shit that you want at my house, you want me to pay for all of
I'm a
this shit.
full
It
believer
doesn't
in
even
that.
make sense. Just because you making shit up because you feel entitled. How? If you can call me to go half on a birthday party, then that means when I get ready to give my child one, you going half with me too, right? That means we all parents. We all in the same pool for all of the kids.
That's what it should be if you wanted to call this a blended situation.
But it's
Other than
never
that,
ever like
stop
that.
playing with me. Stop
It's
playing with me
never
like
ever
that
like that. Have you
because
ever seen? Well, you know what? I have seen it in my family. I have. In my family, to your point, whoever has the Christmas or the elder, um, they'll get you your favorite thing at Christmas. But here's the thing about the kids in my family, and no shade, no lie, they're the most humble and fucking kids I've ever seen in my life because we can afford to get certain things. And they be like, no, I don't need that. That's too much. But other kids, if they parents be done told them, make sure when you go over there, you ask for this.
yeah, a lot of parents do that, and that's why a lot of folks be looking at you like, please stay the hell out.
Right. We go to dinner. I watch you when you post when you take your kids to dinner and they getting chicken strips, but when they come with us to dinner, they want lobster and shrimp and crab legs and things like that.
Stuff that they could never have with you. Stuff you never could
Not
afford
with
to
your
get
real
them.
money.
No,
Not with your
stuff
real
that
money,
other
because I don't
people,
get food
not
stamps.
you.
Okay.
I don't either. Mm-mm.
I'm just saying, if it's going to be fair, it needs
I
to be
pay for
fair. And I don't
everything.
think that it is. I
I
don't think
pay
that
for
people
everything.
think of it that way with a blended family. Hell, they can't even talk to each other.
That part.
That's the sad part is they can't even talk to each other. So why do you feel like, I don't know. I just think that the whole dating somebody with kids thing, unless you can go into it with somebody that it makes sense. I'm just going to be honest. From my experience, I would not marry somebody with kids that they didn't have it together because, even for me,
I appreciate
um,
you saying that part. They didn't, if they don't have it together, because I won't
yes,
say
I
all
love
blended
kids.
families is the issue. I don't not like kids. I actually do love
I
kids.
love them.
I just don't trust your ass is gonna stay around long enough for me to get to know your kid. Why do I want to know your kid? Because I barely know you. And so for me, as I sit back and I'm thinking about this shit, and I'm like, damn, I hate how I see it sometimes. But of course, it's from experience or whatever.
It's reality.
But, but for me, the way the law set up, look back and on like on them African clips, you can have as many as you can take care of, right?
If you can't keep your legs
Hey,
closed, then make sure your
Tanya.
wallet is propped open. Okay?
That's what I'm
Your
saying. So
wallet.
if you can have as much as you can, it's okay. If you can have as many kids as you want, it's okay. Can you afford them? Or are you panhandling and pushing
That's
them
how I
off
was
on other
raised.
people? And so the reality is, if you can't afford it, don't do it. Like, and I'm gonna tell you like this: I'm a very open person. I don't like to put titles on myself because I'm gonna do what the hell I want to do when I get ready, and that's just what it is. So in the moment, I might be a lesbian, and in the moment, I might be a heterosexual. I really don't believe that it is really anybody's business that ain't in the room. Okay,
No.
but because I'm just kind of who I am, the way I am, and I'm a little freak like that, baby, I don't believe in children and none of this shit. Are you ready to be serious? Before you think you should add children to the equation. Let's be clear. I don't really want to meet your kids that soon. I know I should get it over with, right? Just in case I don't like the kid and I got to dump you both at the
So
same time
that's
real
a
quick.
wishy-washy thing too. You do want to.
You want to
Now
get it
I will
over
tell
with.
you, but let me tell you, one of my sisters, Elise, she's going to be on the show in
I
next week, I
can't
think.
wait to see
But
Elise.
um, one of the things that she did, and I thought this shit was genius. She was dating somebody when my nephew was not very young, but still young enough that she wanted to, keep him pure as a kid. She just brought the person she was dating around as a friend, and they behaved in front of my nephew. Like they didn't kiss and do all those things. They just acted like friends. And so it gave him an opportunity to be around my nephew and things like that. So I think that was a really good idea because you don't want to fall in love with somebody and then you meet their kids and it's like your kids are nothing like you told me that they were, and you're allowing them to treat me like this, but now I'm so in love with you. I want to try to make it work because let's just be honest. It's step parent, adult person who I'm dating abuse. And it happens because these kids they're humans. They're just little humans. They plot different things. And then if their other parent or a mama who don't like you or a sister who don't like you or
Hmm.
anything, if they are coaching the kid to do certain things, they're going to do it. Here's the part where it backfires though, and this is my favorite part for those that have tried this, when the kid turns around and does it to them.
Baby, and let
It's
me
a
tell y'all
kid.
how
They
y'all
don't know when
gotta
to turn it
stop.
on and turn it off, so they're going to do it to you too. How about that?
Period. And that's on
Now you want to
period.
be mad though. Now you want to be embarrassed. How? You trained them like that.
And I'm with you when you're right, because what is very disturbing to me is that you quick to tell me not to tell your child nothing. Don't help raise your child. But then you don't understand why I can't stick around because your child is too disrespectful, out of line, and out of order. And it doesn't have to be like that. It just
Mm-mm,
doesn't. We should be
mm-mm.
a united front. We should be a team. Your child should see me and see you. Like, if you hear me, you hear your mama, you hear your daddy. We are united front. It's not just one or the other. And I think it's very shady when these women have these kids and they want to be difficult. And a lot of times the stepmamas or the blended person usually do want to come in the game, with some co-parenting skills, because we really don't want to raise your kid in the worst way, and we want to co-sign with you, and we don't want the kid to feel dismissed or unapproved and things like that. That's not cool. But I
Mhm.
just think it's not fair to, like, I just think everybody should chill out with this having babies with all these different people. And I think that once you
Or having
realize
babies if
that,
you're not ready to parent, because there's some people with one, and that one is like the Tasmanian
it's
devil.
still okay. Because I'm gonna tell you right now, I don't want to be a parent. I just got a dog, Asia. I just got a dog, and I don't even know how long I'm going to keep this baby. I'm ready to throw his ass out because I'm not. I don't have time. I don't have time to train you, and I can't actually beat on my dog because it's my fault that he ain't peeing where he should be peeing when I'm not home to teach him. You see what I'm saying? But I just realized that, when you watch them old TV shows and them parents have these little group meetings with their kids and they tell them, I know you want this, but you do know this is going to be your responsibility once you do it. And you're going to have to walk the dog and clean up behind the dog. Like watching the Brady Bunch. And now I'm like, damn, that's so real. But if it can't be like the Brady Bunch, please don't come knocking on my door. That's the
So
only way I'm doing the blended situation. It got to be like the Brady Bunch. We all in this shit together.
my advice to somebody, if they are not dating somebody with kids, or I'll take it from a different perspective. If you are going to marry somebody and they have kids, I would not walk down the aisle until we can all sit down at a table and have a discussion. Because if we can't all sit down at a table, we already starting in a negative because there's no reason why we can't. It doesn't make any sense, especially as a step parent. I wanted to sit down. at the table. I won't say who didn't, but I wanted to sit down at the table for a couple reasons. One, I wanted them to tell me like the different ins and outs and things like that. So I wanted to have the first meeting with just the adults, um, all of the spouses and the parents, and then I wanted to have um, a meeting to include the kids. So we showed up like as a united front or whatever. Um, but not everybody is willing to be a co-parent, and the killer for me is, how are you the actual parent and your response is something like, oh, I don't see the purpose, but you love
Oh,
your kids so much. So don't you want to make sure that the new person coming in has pertinent information? Don't you want to see what their different quirks are? Because I'm not a liar and I don't hold my tongue. It's no fucking way a kid is going to be around me and my shit and tell me what to do. However, there are things that I want to know that are different quirks about kids so that I can understand when they do it, maybe where they get it from, and I could just let them know it's not appropriate with me. Um, that's how we were raised. Like we could go to certain houses and you could run around, do certain things. I was one of those houses. You could run around when all the kids is over. But if I take you somewhere else, you do not do in their house what you just did in my house.
okay. Okay. Do
It's
not embarrass
period.
me.
It's very, very simple, but it requires a conversation. It requires um, an environment where that's the language all the time, not just when it embarrasses you, not just when it gets on your nerves. You're actually parenting your kids. It's just not, if I have a problem with something that your child is doing, I'm going to say it. First, I'm going to give you the look like the mama look like you're not going to say nothing. And if
Oh,
you don't
okay.
say something, then I am. I don't care if you in my shit. I don't care if we at a restaurant. I don't care if we in church. I don't care where we are. I'm going to say something because you wanted
Because
me to
that's
love
how
your
we was
child,
raised.
right? If I love your kid, I don't want them to do certain things because here's my rule, and I have rules. Okay. And it is okay if you bring rules to the table for me. My rule is, if I offer to help with something and I identify something and I bring it to the table because it's a concern out of love, stop being so goddamn defensive about everything. If I bring it to the table and you come at me, oh no, that's not my kid. My kid don't do this. My kid don't do that. Well, okay. Later when they get in trouble, don't put me on the emergency card. I'm not going down to the school for something I just told you I noticed your child was doing. Don't call me if they end up in juvenile hall. Don't call me for nothing because you didn't respect my opinion to at least say that you heard it and pay attention. You immediately dismissed it, and I have to accept that because, again, you can love a child like it's your own and you can get your fucking feelings hurt because it's not. I had to respect that. So you also have to respect that the boundary that you set that goes along with this, I have to ride it out the whole way because my heart, you can't play with my heart. When you're dealing with a step parent, that's a real person and you're playing with their heart when you have them in, when it's all going good and buying things and things like that. But the moment that there's something that needs to be talked about that may be a little uncomfortable, it's very easy for it to roll off somebody's tongue. I know what to do with my child. You're right. But then that statement is going to last forever until we sit down again and you tell me different. It's going to last forever. And it ain't going to be no back and forth.
And that's on period. I'm sorry, guys, that I had to just black out my camera for a second. I'm trying to clean up the shop and everything and, move around in the same breath because it's getting late and I want to get out of here. But, baby, I'm with you when you right. Don't play with me. Don't play with me. Don't play with me. That's all I got. Because I just co signed everything you said. I don't even have nothing to say to add to that. Facts.
How? How? I don't
You
understand. Well,
stupid.
maybe because you haven't really dated anybody with kids. Um, I would even go as far to say is the people that say, well, they disrespected my child. They did this, they did that. It's a way that you teach your child to speak up. I'll give an example. And if I cry, don't laugh at me because this to this day, it does
It,
something to me. But
okay.
my stepson came over. It was his weekend to come over, and he was on the couch downstairs with my mom. He was always in the room with my mom, but he was downstairs watching cartoons, and he didn't feel good. He looked horrible. He looked so uncomfortable. And I was giving him some medicine, and I said, I don't know why your mom wouldn't just let you stay at home because you sick. And he said, I am at home. And I just looked at him and I was like,
Wow.
you're right. I was like, I didn't mean it like that. Just, so you could be comfortable in your own environment with your stuff. Cause I know how I feel when I get sick. And I was like, but you are right. And I was like, good job at correcting me. You're right. I went upstairs and I cried like a baby because I didn't mean it that way. I meant it as just in you being comfortable in your environment. I remember being a kid, and when I didn't feel good, I wanted to stay under my mom, different things like that. But he's so lovable that he was like, I'm cool here. I'm cool down.
And he
Hand me that
looking like
Kleenex
this
and I'm
is
cool here.
home.
Yeah,
And you
but
is my other mama and my daddy here. And so I'm at home, baby. What you mean?
right, right. So that shit, I will never, ever, ever forget that. But I appreciate that he once said something, but so that I could clear it up. And that wasn't something that he took with him forever. Cause I swear that's not what I meant. Um, in the way that, yes, this is your home, but I was just thinking about like when I was a kid, how I felt. But I'm glad that he checked me. And yeah, I will never ever forget that. So again, there is a way that you can teach your kids to say things and address something, right? Um, I think because of all the things that I went through with my stepmom, I she never called us by our name. We was, bitch, that little bitch. Well, I won't say never. It was just a lot. Um, Especially very young. Tried to run us over with cars. Just totally mistreated us. And even in all of that, I didn't get smart. I didn't say anything back. Barely went home and told my mom, but I didn't. So I don't really understand how these kids think that they could just say whatever that they want to if they don't like the color that you bought them, or it's just beyond me where these kids think that they can talk like that, and where even the parents think that they could talk like that, and you as the step parent or whatever can is just supposed to take it. And I believe it actually happens more with males. I believe that males face more than females because males are usually more disciplinarians. And so when they tell you to
Hmm.
do something, especially with that bass in their voice, um, I've seen kids say, "You're not my daddy. I'm an adult. I don't have to be your dad."
That part, like, and I'm not, I remember my stepdad being held to me. That man was very abusive. Asia, you remember this season in my life where we were in junior high school and I ran away because you sat over here and hit me 72 times with a razor strap. First of all, I made a whole song about it as a child because I had to find how I could cope because I'm ready to kill you, sir. Like, I don't understand the idea that you think it was cool to do that. And then you was crazy enough to count how many licks you gave me. Like, I could not walk after you were done. You wanted to break me. And it's because you fell out with my mom, but yet you ended up still my step parent. You see what I'm saying? Like, as a foster kid, you still ended up in my life unintentionally. Okay. No one wanted you here. And I feel some type of way about how I was treated and the abuse that was given and how I had to stand 10 toes down as a child and still respect you and not tell you to go to hell. And I wish you died. Like, how I felt. You see what I'm saying? But they read it.
Was somebody else there when this was happening? That was
My
biological.
grandmother, you nobody biological, but my baby sister Charity. Damn, I didn't mean to say her name, but
Even
whatever.
as an
Doesn't matter.
adult, even
But
if I
you
was
over
just
here,
an
but
adult
no,
and I
because
was there, I
Granny
would
over
have
here
said
popping me
something.
though. But Granny
Huh?
over here popping, but Granny over here popping me with hollow poles and throwing ironing boards and hitting me with candlesticks and throwing frozen meat. So what the she finna say? She ain't finna say shit. Cause you with this fucking abuse. And so, as a foster kid slash stepchild, my stepdaddy, my mom literally had to tell that man, "Do not hit my child again. You have ripped
I'm
every
wondering
outfit."
when that happened. If that happened, I don't even whoop kids. So I'm not. I I'll pop you,
This
which is a
man ripped
natural
every
reflex.
clothes
Like if
set
you
because
cuss, and it's probably
I was
happened.
skinny back then.
I can't even put it on one hand. How do
Baby,
you just whoop
I was
somebody's
skinny
child?
back then. Baby, I was skinny back then. I used to take flight, slide up under the bed like a baseball player, baby. That baby, he ripped up every outfit I ever had because let me tell you, I'm on the go. My mama said, please, because you're not replacing the clothes quick, you're just destroying them. And it was like, but a lot of times she wasn't there. She didn't know he was beating on me like that.
She was
I'm
leaving you
sure.
there with him.
Well, yeah, it's like, I mean, we would go to school, we would come home, one of them would be there. Either she would be there or he would be there. But somebody was at home to receive us from school. And sometimes, I mean, all the time, I was bad. I ain't gonna say I didn't deserve no
But
discipline.
not that. That's abuse.
I just think you went too far. And all of this happened because I forged my grandmother's signature on a detention slip. I got 72 licks
Not
for
you
that.
stole a
And
car. Not
and
you.
that's when I went to the group home. Those was the best days of my life. There, baby. I was hell, but in a good way. But it was going down. Do you hear me? I listen. I made the best of my situation, and I can just say that I'm grateful for that because again, I was just telling my coworkers at 13, I tried to kill myself because I just didn't think that this is what it was supposed to be like. Why am I here? And this is how I'm being treated. But I'm grateful that I stood 10 toes down as a child. I'm grateful that some life was there. I'm grateful. I'm grateful that I knew God ever since I was like 6, like since I could talk about it. First, it started with the Jehovah Witnesses because I'm the child that was tossed around. Like I felt that conversation earlier today. I was her. Sit to this person, sit to that person. So, of course, my grandmother really believing she was helping raising me by breaking these habits of me doing what I wanted to do because I didn't have anybody
Oh,
raising me. But in that same breath, was all of this that necessary?
no, that's
Right?
not. So
That's the point.
I believe also that, okay, so I don't, the youngest one, I put in timeout like once, and literally the timeout, I think he was 7. So it was 7 minutes for fighting with his brother. And he was sitting on the couch right next to us, still in the room. That was his punishment. That was enough for him because he had never um, gotten disciplined by me like that. But on this particular day, it was right after I had back surgery. He was going at it with his brother. So that was the discipline for him because if you pay attention to kids and you are, if you're going to be in a kid's life, be in their life to the best of your ability. I understand this adversity with the other parents, sometimes with the parents you're with. I get it. But as an adult, just think of it as I'm an adult and this is a child, and try to meet them where they are. Because if you're super hardcore structured like I am, and then the other parents are not, you can't expect them to just know things. You got to meet them in the middle, and that's just reality. And that was my first lesson as an actual step parent. Because I didn't grow up like that. I grew up with, I knew how to act in each household and I adapted very quickly out of respect. But that was something that was put in me before, so I knew how to do it earlier. But I learned that. So anyway, that was his thing. And then with my eldest stepson, um, I learned that for him, discipline didn't really work. The thing for him to get him to do things was either if he didn't do what he was supposed to, I'm not buying you anything. So very similar to that McDonald's situation. If we in the store and you ask me for something, the answer is no, because you're in trouble. But if the other one asks for something, I'm going to get it because he's not in trouble. Why should he be in trouble? Because you are in trouble. Um, that type of thing. But it was simply because he was in trouble and he did not eat. It would be a snack or something like that. That worked. Or making a deal with them like, okay, if your grades come in and they look like this, I'll help you do this and I'll get you this so you can do it because that's an interest of yours. But you have to learn how to become the child's friend as well. All of that, I'm not your friend, you have to be.
You
You have
have
to
to
be a
be.
little bit. You have to be because they have to trust you. They have to trust you that if they do something wrong, that they can still tell you because your biggest interest in all of it is to make sure that they're okay. Yes, you still gonna get in trouble depending on what it is, but the primary focus is going to be on helping you either not be in that situation again or getting out of the situation. Um, a lot of the times I would just let them lay in the bed with me because that was our time to just talk, like while their dad was in the shower and things like that. Um, but yes, if being a step parent, it is a lot of work. It is double the work as if it were your own. Because if it is your own physically from your body with you majority of the time, um, they tend to mimic you. So if you're doing the right things, they're going to do the right things. It's not a lot of work because you started it when they were very young. Um, but if you come into the picture as a step parent later, depending on how the situation is set up, you're automatically on the outside. You're automatically being
Period.
treated as if they, instead of saying, oh, get to enjoy, hey, guess what? You know, the person that knows both the husband or the wife that's introducing their kids, what they should do is, you know, they know everything about you and they know everything about the kid. They should bring you guys together with those things so they can see the common interests. You can have fun together and stuff like that. They're the ones that's supposed to bring the whole thing together, not the step parent trying to figure it out and not the kid possibly playing in their head that they're not supposed to like you because the mom or their dad says so, to whomever the step parent is, or they just naturally feel like they shouldn't because they still want their parents to be together. Um, the person that is in the middle is the one that's supposed to fix it. But if you're going to be a step parent, I could just say it's hard. I went in knowing I wasn't buying anybody. I'm not buying you. Um, when I spoil. When I shower you, I shower you, but you will earn it. If you don't earn it, you're not getting it. And I won't even blink, care. It won't hurt my feelings. It won't nothing because you didn't earn it. If I have to go to work every day, why do you get to do whatever you want to and then request from me what you want to? How am I teaching you in that? How? That doesn't make any sense. The punishment will fit what you did. And if you don't like it, then just don't deal with me. I don't know what to tell you because I have a right to have control over my environment as long as I
Well,
consider others. As long as I consider others.
I think the biggest thing is acceptance. Obviously, everybody wants to be accepted. And it's like, you right, the Bible did mean, hey, get a family and stick to that because all this extra shit is costing extra money, it's costing extra this, bitterness, all these things are
Heartbreak.
building up. All these things are building up in either party, in either party.
Right.
And so I know I be sounding effed up to people when I say the things that I say, but I'm just looking, I'm just watching, and I just don't want none of these problems. So in real life, what do I say? I really prefer you to not have any kids or let your kids be grown because at least if they're grown, I don't care how you feel, you're not in my house. Right. And I honestly be like, Lord, I don't know about the parent situation because I don't want to say what I be feeling, but you understand what I be feeling. Baby, please give me 50 feet because it's just me out here in these streets. I ain't got nobody else. And although I have a family and I have my parents, and I'm not saying they're not there, they just don't care about that much. So it would be me, they're gonna just accept you because I brought you. You see what I'm saying? Where your family may not be as cool as mine.
Right.
And then these baby mamas, I mean, some of them are cool, some of them just want peace. A lot of them gonna get them a new man and want you to just stay away anyway. You see what I'm saying? Just send the check so that you can say that I can say you did something.
And that's
And
not
it's
right.
and that's not fair. But then a lot of these men don't want to be bothered for real no way because they're not truly in the house raising their child the way they would want their child to be raised. So then the child does come to visit and it is a discrepancy. Who the hell wants to hear your thought process? And this is what I've been used to all these years. And you're not on one accord. You're not communicating. You're not making an effort to truly blend your family. Like, where I see some men be like, "Oh no, we're not gonna do all that, baby. You go. This is my kids, and they in the picture. I fools with my kids, and either you fool with them or you don't fool with me." And women are the same way sometimes, but I feel like women can get into a desperate point place in their mental, and they start accepting
And they'll
shit like,
conform.
and you conform to bullshit so fast rather than
Mm-hmm.
not realizing that yes, I do want a man eventually, baby. I do. I'm not out here telling us to just be outright single and all of that. I am telling you to learn who you are, love who you are, and then allow someone else to accept who you are with your baggage, right? But if you have not trained your baggage, disciplined your baggage, and put your baggage in some type of neat form, and this baggage is not really just your children, it's all your bullshit that you got going on because we all got something going on. But can you add value to me? Will your children add value? I can't have children. So gratefully, no, I don't want them and I cannot have them. But if I did get into a situation where I am dating someone with children, which is always, I mean, because either you don't know you got them, or you denying them, or you're not raising them, or you're very active. It's one of the five I just named, okay? But the reality is they do exist, okay? And as a person who has been a foster child, I know that I'm gonna treat your child well. I don't need you to misunderstand why I don't want to be bothered with your kids. It is not because I won't treat them well. It is because I don't believe you'll know how to treat me well. I'm not the baby mama. I'm not the one who gave you your seed. I'm not the one that you just built a legacy with. Okay? So can I trust that you're going to love me the same? Can I trust that you're going to put me first and still love and be effective towards your child? Can I trust these things about you? And unfortunately, I know that I'm not supposed to judge nobody else's shit, and I'm not judging it. I'm just watching it.
It's
Sometimes you
okay.
learn from other people's mistakes. I am single without children because I pled to myself I would never be a baby mama. I've been saying that my
I did.
entire life.
I
You
did
have
as
been
well.
saying that your entire life. We said this shit together, okay? I'm not doing that, sis. If you can't marry me, you can't get no kids. Fuck you. And I mean that shit. What are you saying? Go to sleep. No
I
one is
want to
having it.
spend a little bit more time on what you just said because I've never actually said it that way, but in my heart, even before I got married, but more so when I got married, that's something that people don't think about. They only think about, they always say, well, that's just a kid. That's just a kid. So the person with the kid, all of the excuses, all of the understanding, all of the everything goes for them. But it's almost like, fuck the step parent. They don't have, it's not a person. You're an adult.
Mm-hmm.
So adults don't have hearts. Adults don't have time that they put into it. But you just said exactly how I have felt my entire marriage. And I promise to be transparent with certain things on this show. And that's one of the things I'm willing to be transparent with. Not when, because yours is when. Since I am investing all of this in you and your world and your kids, because at the end of the day, they are yours. But while I'm doing all of this, what are you doing for my heart? What are you doing to make sure I'm okay? On those times when I am depleted because I'm the outsider. And to your point, everybody wants to be accepted. So if I'm fighting all of these battles, how are you filling my cup back up? Because I'm too tired to fill it back up. How
And
are
I'm
you
not
guarding my heart?
supposed to fill it back up. It is your position when you said I do to fill my cup as I fill your cup so
Mm-mm.
that we're never on empty.
Nope. You don't
So
get
it's
that.
like for me, I don't think people hold the value or the responsibility of what love really looks like. And I do not believe that people hold the value of caring about others as they
Nope.
should.
Nope.
And I don't believe that people understand the responsibility of getting a dog. And I say it like that because that's like the first step of learning how to be a parent. Your baby can't talk to you, you got to figure it out. You got to go to the doctor when stuff just don't add up. And you want to invite another person into a situation that you don't even understand and that you're not putting forth the amazing effort that should be put forth. And I think it's terrible.
But you
And
expect your
so
spouse to put
to
forth
fill in it, to
all
fill
of the
in your
effort, to
gaps.
bow down, to be broken, to change everything about them, to care about everything that's going on in your world, to conform, to go
Excuse me.
above and beyond so that they will like you. Um, and then they get nothing. Well, I, I'm just being honest. I didn't.
You know, I used to do a lot of therapy sessions personally, and I still need to do some adult therapy sessions. I've done a lot of childhood therapy sessions, which is how I survived
Mhm.
what all really happened. I finally accepted what happened. I don't deny any of it, and I let it build me. I let it make me stronger. But out of all the things that I have seen myself overcome, hmm, all the battles, trusting someone with my heart is something that I just cannot do yet. And it
I don't blame you.
amazes me how close people really think they are to you because you're such an open book and because you
Yeah,
don't really have any secrets. You think you know me, but there's so many things you don't know, not because I don't have secrets, but because you didn't ask the right questions.
right.
It's
Or I
not an
just wasn't willing to
information.
discuss it.
Well, it's just not information I volunteer.
Right,
You need to
right.
care enough to ask. See, a conversation rules the nation. And at the end of the day, I don't need you to be rich. I just need you to want to be rich. I need you to make rich
I need that
movement.
drive.
I need you to
Right.
think rich. I need you to see outside of your moment. I need you to understand that I'm not judging you. I'm telling you I don't have time for your shit because I'm willing and I have experienced such a level of I got to get my life in order that I can't tolerate you taking me backwards. And so, unless you are the full time parent of your child, no, I would not be willing. I would not be dealing with your baby mama. So, unless that woman has signed over her rights, passed away, or something in the atmosphere that has you being the full custody parent, that is the only way that I could tolerate that. Because if I can date you, and if I could see that type of future with you, then that means I see that you're also raising your child and disciplining your child. And sometimes you do need the help of a woman, especially if you have a woman child, but even for the male child, they need to learn
Mm-hmm.
how to treat women. These young men think that it's okay to put their hands on women. They think it's okay to disrespect women. And women think it's okay to disrespect men and talk to them crazy and talk down to them. Let me
Oh,
be
that
very clear.
that
I
topic
ain't
is
with
coming up.
none of this shit.
Mm-mm.
I'm not with none of it. I stay single because if I think that I'm going to tear you down, sir, I don't need you in my circle.
Right.
Because if
I don't
that's
respect
what the
you.
hell I don't have no respect for you, baby. And if I
Right.
and then I got jokes all day long. You got to be confident in yourself talking to me. I got jokes. And so if you ain't 10 toes down with self, okay? Okay? Be 10 toes down with self. And that's when you can truly have a conversation with me because I got jokes about myself. I laugh
That's
about
the
me. You
part.
can't come for me because I come for me. And so this is how I elevate. I get used to things. Like I'm literally dealing with people that think I care about them enough to talk about them behind their back. I am so bold in the woman that I have become at the age of 41. Number one, I don't give a damn. And number two, you ain't what you gonna do. I'm finna talk to you.
So let's
Mm-hmm.
talk about. So I had a situation with somebody that I was that their kid was in my life, and this person decided to bring some of my business back to me, um, which we all know in a setting where it's just me and the person, you could basically tell me anything that you want to, um, especially if you have a right to be in that space, right? So if I'm around your child,
Mm-hmm.
you have a right to ask me a whole lot of shit because I got your kid. Um, my door is open. I'm giving out address and phone number when we first meet because I got your kid.
I got your kid.
Um, and that's how I grew up. But this person decided to say, well, my child told me X, Y, and Z and knew the whole story. And I stopped the mother and I said, well, here's a question that I have because I'm an adult and you're an adult. You were the adult in the situation, right? I said,
Okay.
how did you get through the whole story? I said, because when your child tried to tell me what happened when you and your man went in the room,
I stopped them
I stopped that child and let that child know. You can tell me anything you want to tell me. As if it's got something that's going to hurt you or something that you have questions about. Yes, but baby, that's your mama's business. You don't tell what's going on in your mama's house. I'm always going to be a
because it
queen
takes
and
a
I'm always going to sit on
village
my
to
throne
raise a
and
child.
I'm always going to answer a question from a child and treat a child as such. So while you thought it was cute to tell me what you did, treating your child like that was your homegirl, I went ahead and schooled you and taught you a lesson on how to be an adult, which is why all of that, you don't have no kids, you don't know, goes out the window with me. It doesn't even, I don't even feel like it's disrespectful anymore because if half of y'all did what you were supposed to, we wouldn't be dealing with the things we're dealing with now.
So don't tell
You're
me if I
welcome.
had no kids. Don't tell
You're
me if I had
welcome.
no kids.
Because
Like
my
you
niece and
sound
nephew was
crazy.
good. We don't ever hear nothing about them. You want to know why? Because we raised them. That's why.
Period.
We put in the work.
Period.
That's why. Check my
And
record.
it's like, and I like people to be very understanding and clear. I ain't saying I didn't do nothing. I'm saying, bitch, I didn't get caught. Mind your business and your manners.
Right.
Listen, you like my new hair color? I just thought I'd throw that off for a second. I just
Yes,
wanted
it's
to talk.
lovely. It's actually
I
the
went,
color of the tip of my braids. But we are going to close out. Um, there are so many reasons why people don't want to date people with kids and don't want to marry people with kids, and why a spouse can become jealous. Is it right in the bigger scheme of things? Of course it's not, because you're an adult. But to look at an adult like they don't have a heart or like they're not a person, examine the whole picture. And then we are all dealing with things that have happened when we were kids. Um, and that contributes a lot to why I treat mine the way I treat mine, meaning my stepkids, my godkids, my nieces and nephews. I do the best that I can. I'm going to show up because I wanted somebody to show up for me. Um,
amen.
so you don't ever have to question if I love your child. What you have to question is what your
Will I
definition of
love
love is.
you?
I
Mm-hmm.
can't do anything about that. But if you have differences in how you grow up, discuss it. Because if you have kids and you want to date and have a good mate, you're going to have to be willing to be open to not just them coming in and being the fun step parent, but also to their feedback. There may be things that you do that they don't like to do. So when you start a new chapter in your life and bring somebody in, it's time to sit down at the table and talk about some things. because you're going to have to adjust. That person does not owe you to come into your world and do everything your way, because most of the time you're not exactly doing it right, only because you can't even co-parent. Half of y'all can't even co-parent. So if you can't co-parent, you need to be open to whatever somebody's trying to do to help you so that everybody can sit at the table. I'm just saying, if it's for the betterment of your child. If you're somebody that's completely stuck in your ways and you're like, I'm not doing nothing, either you accept me and my kids the way that we are, or you go ahead, I got something for you too. Because remember, we start at the root. Since you're not ready for a relationship,
Mm-hmm.
don't have one.
Don't
Because a
have one.
relationship on any planet, even if you didn't have kids, you're going to have to compromise and sit back down at the table. So if that's not something you want to do, don't bring somebody into the fold, because it's not fair to
Don't
play
do
with
it.
somebody's heart. Because guess what? You get to walk away, especially in situations like me and Des, where we don't have kids. So if we fall in love with your kids, you just took our family away from us. But you don't give a fuck
Girl.
because you walked away with the family and this person is by themselves. But if you had to be by yourself, you wouldn't conduct yourself that way, because you're literally losing everything and you don't consider that either.
Correct.
So
At
people don't want
all.
to take that gamble. It's not always that the kids are bad. It's that the situation is bad, that I don't trust this space because it's not mine and it could be taken away. That's my final words.
Mm,
What are your final thoughts?
mm. Babe, you said something right there. Like, and I think that's it for me. I can't take that chance with you. Um, I think my final thought is please, 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 please get to know people before you drop your draws. I think that I want you to say, is it going to be worth it at the end tomorrow when you wake up the next day? Was it worth it? Or did you wake up with regret? And I think a lot of times we're not honest with ourselves about that feeling. And this is just we need to heal because we keep repeating the same thing over and over and over again with no healing. And it's not okay. It's just not okay. It's not okay to keep planting seeds and not watering them. It's not okay to keep planting roots and then sprouting like as if to say you're not a part of this tree. It's not okay. Men should protect their penises just like women should protect their vaginas. Stop sleeping with everybody. Folks is effed up in the head. They have not healed. They are passing these demons and spirits on to you. And you should care about your life enough to say clink clink for a little while.
Soul
Do you
ties.
know do you know right now the rule to working for me if you need my help? See, not if you got your license and you just need to work, but if you actually need me to help you get your license, the rule is you can't get pregnant. You're automatically fired.
Yeah, you on a mission.
Why would you go and think that, child, babe,
Discipline.
I don't mean no harm, but if a
Discipline and
person truly
self-respect.
loves you and you trying to do something, let me tell you how I would have went and bought my partner a box of condoms. And I would have went and got on some type of birth control. It's only for 6 months. What is
I'll
six
do you
months
one better. My husband
to a
asked me to wait
career?
until he was done with school. School was at this time when he asked me, it was another 2 or 3 years. I was
That
done.
are
If I wanted to be selfish, I was done.
well
But I didn't want to take that from
is
him because we're a partnership.
the question I have today is, are you glad you waited?
No,
You sure?
positive.
Well, in due time, everything happens when it's supposed to, first of all.
It
But
does.
for me, I see things in such manners that I couldn't even imagine to tell you where I can go with this. This is an offline conversation for me because the gift is what it is. The gift is just what it is. And so for me, It just wasn't time. And for you, when the time comes, I'll be there with bells on because
That's
that's what
good.
you want. Because that's what you want. So why wouldn't I? I'm finna do that. You understand what I'm saying? But me being me, I'm gonna be honest about it all because I just be looking at folks like, you didn't change careers. You're getting used to your marriage. I think children in the beginning of a marriage is so deadly because a lot of times you fall in love and you really fall in lust, and once you get married, that's when the shit really gets real. And I am wondering, why would you want to add another responsibility to that situation before you're truly comfortable in that situation? You don't really know nobody until you really living with them, until you're really moving with them. And see, there's emotion that should be taking place in a marriage. And that shit should be wheels turning 24 fucking 7. And I'm not saying that you won't go through some shit. I'm saying that you're supposed to build each other up into a position that once you have this child, the child can't come between y'all either. It's a tag team situation. Back again, what you want to do about it? Let's go.
Won't he do it?
Let's go. So hell
Because
no,
that's a
I
whole
don't want
nother
your
layer.
damn kids, baby. What
God
you
allows you
just
to
got my
borrow
head.
a child, but he gives you a spouse. Your spouse is your spouse forever.
Boom.
Okay. That's the only
You
thing God
understand
gave
that?
you was a spouse. The only thing. That's the only thing he gave you. And a lot of
So I
y'all
just
out
be
here
wondering.
fucking it up like you don't care. And you wonder why you on a downward spiral. You wonder why things don't go well. You wonder why you go up and then you drop back down. You go up because God is trying to tell you. He's trying to nudge you because some people, he takes care of fools and babies. He'll give you a little something. It is from him. So he can let you see. He can open your heart. You can take your blinders off. You can soften your heart and see that you could have so much more if, because when I tell you at the beginning of my marriage, we was getting hit left and right with shit, good shit,
I promise. Good shit, bad
because
shit, in
we was
between
following the
shit.
rules to a T, even going to church and things like that. You have to play your part. And there's going to be a season where you go through a growth spurt. And I went through one. I had to learn how to live with a man and be a wife. But I was very clear in that to begin with. And that's never something I was ashamed of. I'm going to have a whole segment on it because this is about growing into yourself and being a woman and being accountable. I want to do, and I already got it lined up, something completely about marriage and focused on the woman and what she should be doing and learning better, and how other women around her should make sure that she does certain things. But no, your marriage, if you're not doing what you're supposed to do in your marriage, you're not going where you think you're going. You're just not. And things will dangle in front of you like a carrot and go away. It
And I'm gonna
just,
tell
it
you
is what it
something.
is.
Unbreakable bonds don't allow third parties that ain't God Himself.
Nope.
Let me tell you why I don't
And
call
just so
you and
you're
get in
clear,
your
if you
business.
intervene in the covenant of a marriage, you're in trouble too. Know your place,
Do,
know your
do you
lane, know your
understand?
role.
Do you
Don't
understand
be
why
a
I don't call you?
manipulator and jumping into things that you shouldn't be in.
Do you understand why I don't call you, friend? That's why I don't call you. I don't call you about your marriage because it ain't none of my damn business. Pookie, if you want to talk to me, I listen to you. I don't give you
Right.
advice.
Don't nobody actually give me advice and don't nobody call me. When I have
I don't
different
call
things
you
that
back
I want
because,
advice on,
baby,
I have to reach out. And when I
you
do,
better.
they give it at the level that I ask for.
Because
I
at
have
the end of
really
the
good
day,
people around me.
you have a spirit that lives so deep on the inside of you that shall arise in these occasions to teach you what to do. You just got to tap in. And I'm
And that's what I
always
do.
tell
I
you to
want to do
tap
it by
in.
myself.
Tap
Hmm.
that in, baby, because it's
And
already
it
right
don't feel
here.
good. Just to be
Never
clear, the
feels
shit don't
good.
feel good. It feel like
Never
your
feels
soul is
good.
breaking a little bit because it is. You want to know why? You're breaking the you to become a one and to become a we.
Yeah, God.
So no, it
Mm-mm.
don't feel good all the time, but let me tell you how it feels. It starts to feel good, right? Because you becoming one with somebody else when that's what you're doing. When you're doing your assignment, I asked for this blessing. Now I'm willing to do the work to get where it is I want to be. It wasn't going to happen overnight. I wasn't going to keep my boyfriend as my husband. Those are two different people, two different tones of relationship. So I knew that Asia was going to be broke. I knew that. But guess what? I was really excited for it. I'm not even going to lie. I was excited for it because to be in love with somebody, and I truly feel like my husband is my soulmate, no matter what we go through, because every marriage goes through things. But in everything that I go through, I look for how I can make myself better, or what was I supposed to learn out of it as a wife, because this is a whole different space. And it's something new, like all the time. But now that I've gotten used to certain things, I'm more relaxed when I should be. And then, when shit hit the fan, I'm not. And I'm okay with saying that I'm not.
One thing about it, there's so many reasons why your girl won't be in no relationship no time. So I am not willing to do
It's
the
word.
bending and the breaking that has to be done to build with someone. I I tell everybody from day one, hey, I ain't shit. Listen,
Girl,
and
that
I'ma
is my
woo
saying about
you.
myself. Whoo, y'all know I ain't shit.
I'ma
Just
woo
make
you,
sure you
baby, because
correct me.
I'ma
Pull me
woo
together.
you. I'm going to woo you. You're going to feel like I'm that one. In the very moment you go to the left, when I just don't need you to go to the left, I don't know if I'm gonna go right with you. You understand what I'm saying? So I have not yet matured in that way that I want to share me with
It's
another
hard.
person.
It's
And
hard.
so, and then I'm gonna tell you right now, you gotta be sent from my daddy God, period. Why? Because if you can tell me what to do, then tell me what to do. But if you can't,
Then shut up.
I'm gonna run it. Okay? So because I know that, and that is not cool. All right, that's
Nope.
not cool. See, I can
Nope.
tell you how to roll because I know better. I don't
Right.
want to do it yet. I don't
Right.
want to. I don't want to blend your family. I don't want to accept your fucked up mistakes. I don't want to care
Generational
about
curses.
your shit. I don't. I don't want to care about breaking you, building you back up from some bullshit you done went through
Because you
because I
can't
didn't took
break
out the
nothing that
time.
you're not standing there to fix, especially in a
Okay.
marriage.
Okay.
You
So
can't, you're not
therefore,
supposed to do that.
right. So therefore, sir, I'm gonna look in the mirror because I got me out of my situation between me and God. I didn't have you there, so I need you to do some maturing. I need us to be wise in our decisions. I need us to see shit for what it really is and not for what you wish it was. Quit dating potential and
Woo!
look at the facts.
Won't
And
he do
if
it?
this man got that many kids and not that great of a job, sweetheart, you are not the person that's going to make the difference. Go to hell, have several sleeps, just go to bed. Just go to bed and start over tomorrow. Because that's not the answer. That man gonna have to he gonna have to stand up for himself. Like everybody want to tell something. Listen, you got people in your corner. Does not mean you gotta see them, feel them, or touch them. Doesn't
Right.
mean that I'm not over here praying on your behalf. Doesn't mean I know who to go to. That's why I don't talk to nobody. Talk to you for what? Nigga, please. Get out. Sorry, not sorry. I don't give a shit. I
I
talk
know
to
ex-
God.
if you have the right people around you, the right people will already know. I've had to call on all
Mm-mm.
my poor people. I have. And that's why people need to learn, first of all, like what a wedding is, why you have certain people in your wedding and things like that. Those are your go-to people. Those are the people that should be helping you when you go through different things, because you're going to go through things. You have to be broken to be put back together. It is so much, but you're supposed to do it together. And
Correct.
not everybody has a partner that they can do it together with. And then some things you will do on your own. But I will say it is very ironic. And this is why I believe it doesn't matter if you're married, if you can give marriage advice. Um, Ro, my twin, I
Mm-hmm.
called her about something and was telling her, and I was like, I can't understand. It doesn't make sense. I don't see what I'm supposed to get. And she told me what she thought, and I was like, I don't know. That can't be it. Fast forward, like, I think it was a year. I'm not even sure, but it came up. And when it came up and I got the answer directly from him, because finally I was like, oh, I need the answer. So I got the answer. And I called her right away. I didn't text. I called. I was like, twin, literally what you said was said to me verbatim. Literally. And I was like, I would have never ever thought that. But I was thinking with my dating mind, not with my spouse mind. I'm looking for that person, but that person doesn't exist anymore. The core values should be the same, but the other things didn't exist anymore and things change all the time. And I couldn't
All
believe
the
it.
time.
And that's one thing I do too. I will circle back with you because I don't call just to tell people what my problems are. The
You gotta.
amazing things
That's
that
why I don't
happen.
post a lot of things on Facebook because I'm not. I ain't gonna tell you he was great today, and then I ain't gonna tell you he wasn't shit tomorrow. So
Right.
therefore, I'm not gonna
That's
tell you
not fair.
anything.
Right.
I ain't telling
That's
you
not fair.
nothing. If you're not in my life like that, then you don't need to know. And hell,
Right.
half of the people in your life like that still don't need to know. You have to
Nope.
tread
Cut
lightly.
all them
You
off
have to
too.
tread lightly with that talking too much and everything. And it's like for me, the reason why I just talk to God is because He send the people I need when I need them. I get the surprise phone calls from the people that love me or that I know is praying for me. Because if you praying for me, then you can hear God when He talking to you about me. Um, so I mean, everybody got their gifts and they operate however they operate. But when I pray for my friends, when I pray for my family, because I do, when I pray over my business, when I pray over these children of the world, because I'm hurting for them right now. I definitely want to be a foster parent, although I don't want to be a step parent. I
Two
would
different
love to
things.
be a foster parent. I cannot tolerate the idea that we don't know how to come together and have sensible conversations to
Nope.
get a goal accomplished.
Nope.
These kids matter. Matter of fact, they matter so much because I don't have any kids. Who the fuck is going to take care of me? And if you're not raising these children to give a damn about the elderly, the older, the anything, no respect, no guidance, no love, no bonding, then you wonder how they become so lost and why the step parents don't want to be bothered. But they do. But it
They
comes to a
do.
place where you're going to have to go with me and you. And if the stepmom, I mean, if the biological mother is involved, then it's going to be the three of us, but we're going to be on one accord or it ain't going to be. And so these are the moments where I do put my foot down. I'm very demanding in the situation. I ain't going to let up about the circumstances. Baby, bye. I've been the child. You won't play
That
with me
part.
like that.
That
I've
part.
already been that child. And since I've already been that child, I will never, ever allow it. And a lot of times, unfortunately, I think men are so damn childish, baby. I am not here to play stepmama to your kid unless you are truly raising your child.
I think that that's
Lights
only
can't
fair.
be off. Like lights can't. You got to have your own situation together. I mean, because and I say that you're looking, but girl, I just had a story told to me that just blew my whole effing mind. And I'm gonna just tell you right now, baby. No car, no lights, no water, no employment. Matter of fact, because I am a entity of a LLC, if you don't have one of those, we're probably not going to work out. I don't want a man who clocks in from 9 to 5 because that ain't my life. And I know that when men come home before the woman, there is a problem unless he's the chef. And I mean, but I ask God for that too. It's not that I can't cook, but I want to be catered to in that way. God, send me a man who wants to cater to me. And I'm going to do what
They're
I
out
am
there.
made to
Marcus
do.
like that.
Like, but the reality is, I, as a woman, because I love God, trust God, and know that that man is out there for me, right?
Mhm.
I'm gonna do what I'm supposed to do. You ain't gotta worry about if I'm gonna get in order. I'm always get in order because I want you to be the head. I want you to be the head, sir. That is the whole purpose of me liking you and wanting you and loving you and wanting to be one with you. I like your head. But if I don't like
And
your
your
head,
tail.
get it, boo. Okay. He ride in the Hyundai. Eat some shrimp fried rice and grits. Don't play with me. I cannot play with no weak man. I need my man to be strong. I don't need him to be alpha. I just need him to be strong.
Right. Because
Just
you're
be
gonna be alpha in some
strong.
things and not alpha in other things. But um
Just be
I am
willing though.
being be willing.
That willing spirit.
Be
You
willing.
need to have a
Because
willing spirit.
the new thing, and I promise you guys, we are closing. I see the time. Um, the new thing that I'm seeing now is, oh, I'm not gonna deal with that. I'm maintaining my peace. Let me come here. Let me whisper to you. Let me whisper to you. Stop creating hell and walking away from a fucking fire talking about I'm protecting my peace. Okay? No, what you're doing is being a punk, and this is male or female, and you're walking away because you don't want to deal with the situation. You created a fucking hellhole for somebody else or in life, period, and then you walk away. Oh, I don't got to deal with that. How? And you started it. You did it. It's you. Yeah, all it is. I get so tired when we get on these using these words. Yeah, of course, you do want to protect your peace. That is a very valid statement. However, are you conducting an environment, a behavior, a atmosphere and of peace? No, you're not.
Mm-mm. Mm-mm.
You're not.
Mm-mm.
So it
Full of
sounds
shit.
good. It sounds good that you don't want to address something. Any adult that I hear from now on that doesn't want to address something or, you know, I don't like conflict or anything like that. It's nothing wrong with it. I just know that that doesn't belong around me because I work in corporate, so conflict is there. I go to the gas station, I go to a restaurant and get my order wrong. Conflict is it's all around you. Conflict is good. I need people to understand that. If you can have a conversation like an adult, conflict is good because that's when you're your true self and you're giving your true feelings and then you come to a true solution. Conflict
Period.
just means opposing opinions. Okay. So I'll end with that. Toast to the holiday weekend. So everybody be safe. I am at
Happy
my
Fourth.
godmother's and so which also happens to be my cousin. And the pool man just left. So I want to go downstairs and get in the pool and take this makeup off my
I'm
face.
so jealous.
I cannot wait.
I'm
I've been wanting to be
totally
in the
jealous
pool
about this
since
pool.
before 19. Yeah. So our
Right.
next topic, I'm not going to tell you what it is. But let me tell y'all though, I am so appreciative of all the support. Um, I get so many more comments and conversations in my inbox, which I get and is completely okay. Um, because I'm okay with talking about certain things. Um, but for those that may be going through some of the same things, they know it's something behind it. And so they want to have that conversation because it's like, I'm not the only one. That's a little bit of what my brand is like too, getting to know your true authentic self and being okay with saying it out loud is very hard. Um, and in not every situation are you not being honest or true to yourself because if things include other people, you don't have the right to say certain things. But I appreciate all of the support. I am literally booked through October, so I'm super excited. I love it when you guys come on the show, run up the numbers, and get me to 1K by the end of the year. I'm saying something got to pay
Okay.
for this LLC. I'm not. But thank you. We will be back next Saturday. We'll actually be back next Saturday, and that one is going to be good. It's going to be a couple of us. So yeah, get ready. So thank you. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Go and follow Des on Instagram. Her information is in the description. And then follow me on Instagram as well. Have a good night, everybody, and stay safe.
Good
Cheers.
night.